Okay, so Caroline was supposed to stand here and crack jokes till she gets up on Facebook. So, how y'all doing tonight?
Great.
Woo! You know, I kind of feel like, with so many of you standing, I was like, God, the pressure's on. I was like, all these family members, y'all really want me to say something tonight. I thought I was going to come here and eat cake. You ready? So I got to do a disclaimer here. Because I kind of feel like Faith was up here, and Faith has had this magnificent journey in her business. And she's like, oh man, she's been doing it for 8 days. I was like, she said that like I had cereal for breakfast this morning. So Faith comes with a disclaimer. I could just see compliance now. She is not your typical associate. It's like those weight loss commercials. Like only 2% of the people will actually lose weight. You have to take that. And all this stuff has to come along with it. But Faith isn't your typical associate. Because a lot of people won't do the work Faith did. Faith got in the business, and she saw an opportunity to address a need that she had in her life, and she decided to go chase it down. She has hundreds and hundreds of associates, and thousands of customers. She didn't hit her 300 club last week. She hit it in June as a senior director. Halfway through the year, she was done. And she's still working on building the business. Why? Because she understood that the value of our business is pouring into other people. So tonight, I just want to talk a few minutes about getting back to what it is we really do, and that's connecting. We started this whole journey with this vision that said, you got a why, you can chase it, you want to get in the business, you want to promote, you want to help other people, but somewhere along the way, we started chasing accolades. We started chasing recognition. There's nothing wrong with that. We started chasing the 300 Club. We started chasing trips. And sometimes we start to get a little anxiety about it. And we start to lose a little focus. And that's all everybody's talking about is, I got to get the 300 Club. I got to get this trip. I got to get that. What happened to your why? Because if we'd all get back to our why, and we'd all connect to the fact that we're here to serve, and that we're here to help each other, and that we got to pour into that person's dream and make it our own, you get to the 300 Club. You make it on the trip. You talk to more people. You do the right thing. You tell the right stories. Stories that connect. See, it's not just about the cars. It's not just about the trips. It's about the fact that there's a mother who's waiting on you to share this opportunity. In 2008, there was a lawyer that was waiting on a neighbor to tell me about a business that I didn't know at the time I wanted anything to do with. At that time, I had been practicing law for about 7 years. I'm married to a super handsome attorney who also practices law. He has his own firm. At that time, I had my own firm working 80 hours a week. On the outside, we're doing well. 5,000 square foot house, the pool, the 2 dogs, the 2 cats, the 2 kids, everything that you could see that you want visually. It was the TV commercial. But what you didn't see was the mortgage that came along with it. What you didn't see was the time we didn't get to spend with our kids. What you didn't see was the soccer games that I missed. What you didn't see was the time I spent in jail talking to clients. What you didn't see was the fact that every single morning when I got up and said good morning, I didn't really mean it. They just became words. And I have to just tell you my story and be honest with you about where I was when this business knocked on my door. I needed oxygen. I had lost myself in this dream that I created, and that I thought, this is what I want. Because I'm a first-generation college student. My family didn't come from a certain side of the tracks. We didn't have a lot. And I knew I had to break the mold. I had to do something different. But at the end of the day, I ended up back in the same cycle. I just had more money. But I was still drowning. I was still getting up doing the same thing every single day. And I still was not living in my purpose. Does anybody here know what I'm talking about? It's about 2 of y'all. I didn't do this, I'm gonna get everybody in the room. So I wasn't walking in my purpose. So I recognized the opportunity. And it did not come in the package I thought it was gonna show up in. So I don't know who you are, but there's always someone watching the business presentation, and you know you need a solution. And you know you need something different. And you know your family is counting on you, but this don't look like the box you wanted the gift to show up in. I know it doesn't, because it didn't look like it for me. I was like, oops, hold law degree. I married a guy who went to Princeton. Like, we don't do that. We go to country clubs and all that stuff. That's what my husband, I came in the house, he was like, oh no, sister, what did you just do? We don't do those things. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm doing it. So I get in this business, and it was non-traditional. But let me tell you something interesting about that. At that time, I had dedicated 8 years of my life to saving people from different situations in the law. But over the next 10 years, I learned how to save people from something else. I learned how to save people from despair. I learned how to save people from a lack of hope. I learned how to save people from thinking that they could never have more. I learned how to pull some people's dreams out of the lake of forgetfulness. And this was a bigger calling than anything I ever could have done with my law degree. This business is about connecting. That one person who you talk to could change the lives for hundreds. So the question becomes, who are you waiting for? When we expanded up here in Pennsylvania, I gotta tell you, we're at this event in Texas, and I was listening, and they were announcing the new states, and I remember all the fireworks went off, and the balloons were going places, and I was sitting in my chair doing this. I was not happy. Because I didn't know a single soul in the state of Pennsylvania. And everybody was jumping up and down, oh my God, I'm gonna be rich. And I was like, what? I was like, I hate this company. I can't stand it. I don't know why I'm sitting here in Texas. But I knew I had to do something because that fear of loss was starting to kick in and the anxiety would start to kick in. And I didn't want to be left behind because this was the first state that we had no credit checks, the first state that we had no deposits. And I want to back up for a second and talk about something Brian said in the business presentation, and I'll get on with my script here, my story. I will trade your rates for our deposits any day of the week.
Yep.
Let me say it again for those of you who didn't get it. I will trade your rates for our deposits any day of the week. Because I don't care if it's the same or less. If you have a relationship with me and you live in this state, you need to be my customer because we're a relationship business. We're not here to sell rates. So I will trade your rates for our deposits because even with relationships in Georgia, I can't make you pay $150 deposit to be my customer. It's a different conversation. Y'all are on fertile ground. You're on fertile ground. Repeat after me. You're on fertile ground. Do y'all believe that you're on fertile ground? It's a different situation up here. So we gotta change our perspective. Because sometimes we get so used to being in this situation that we're like, oh, we don't recognize how easy we have it. I just had to go ahead and put that public service announcement up there. So now we're gonna get back to our regularly scheduled program. Okay. So, I come up out of Texas, and I decided I needed to do something to make it work. So I get on the phone and I start calling people. I called one of my girlfriends, she worked in the radio. And I said, look, I know you don't want nothing to do with my business. I appreciate that you're my customer, but here's the deal. We just expanded to Pennsylvania, and I don't know anybody. Who do you know up there? She said, Bernadette, I was born and raised in Philadelphia. She said, I have a sister there, and I have a sister-in-law there, and I'm gonna introduce them to you. I said, okay, I'll go to the next time. Her sister and her sister-in-law said yes to the business. I called her back, I said, I can't believe this, but they're both in. I said, I gotta do the same amount of work anyway. Why don't you get in the business too? The story unfolds that Yvonne, the person in radio, becomes my first senior director, and my senior director is going to tell me to get to executive director. Her sister she introduced me to is a senior director that helped me get to executive director. Her sister-in-law that she introduced me to became a senior director, all in a state I knew nobody in, that I didn't want to go to, that I was pouting about, that I was mad about, okay, had my arms folded, became a senior director. And from that one conversation unfolding, her sister introduced me to Mike Merrill, who's sitting right there. And he's also one of my senior directors at Help Me Get to ED. And he sponsored Rafiq, who's sitting next to him. And he is also one of my senior directors who helped me get to ED. And they continue to produce senior directors. But it all came from a conversation with one person in a state that I didn't know because I was unwilling to allow everyone else to go get it because I understood that this was from a woman.
Come on, that's good.
So what one person is waiting on you to open your mouth and tell them about it? What one person can you pull their dreams out of that sea of forgetfulness and make them remember that the proof is here? I want every ED in this room to come up to the front. Come up to the front. Join me at the front. The proof is in the room. The proof is in the room. The proof is in the room that you can do this business and you can succeed at it. If you're willing to talk, give them a hand as they come on up. So every single person, he's trying to tell me who my SDs are. See, that's why you need to hire me. You don't pay him. Yeah, but he wasn't one of my five, but he did sponsor him. So listen, every single person up here was just like Faith. They started with 0 associates. They started with maybe one customer. And that one customer was probably themselves. But then they took a chance on helping somebody else. Y'all ever got a no? Are y'all still? Wait, hold on.
I'm married.
Are y'all
so
still?
yeah.
We're gonna save that for after. Okay.
Don't avoid my wife.
Have you ever been disappointed
I'm married.
in the business? Okay. Have you ever felt like you didn't want to do it anymore because it was too hard?
Yes.
But did your why keep you going? Did your team keep you going?
Yes.
And sometimes, guys, it's more our team that keeps us going than our why. Because I know that I made a commitment to you. I know that I told you that I would help you pay for your kids' college tuition if you would work, that I would work with you. I know that you're relying on my credibility when you got in the business, so I can't afford to quit. Guys, we are in the final quarter of not this year, but of a decade. I want y'all to let that marinate. As we end this decade, I need everyone in this room to ask themselves, are you where you want to be? Is your outlook right now better than it was 10 years ago? For so many people in this country, it's not. And if it's not, what are you going to do about it? How many people can you commit to connecting with? Because if we can get back to connecting, and we can get back to dream building, and we can get back to pouring vision, and we can get back to telling stories about the success of the business and the relationships, then all the other stuff won't matter because we'll get it by default. So I just stopped by here to tell you that we are in the business of connecting. And it's time for all of us to reconnect with why we're here. Thank you guys for being here.